This week we're doing a mini camp for high school students on the autism spectrum. And it's based off of a curriculum we have for a Science Superheroes for a Sustainable Future camp. So it deals with energy and sustainability.
The autism spectrum is a set of pervasive development disorders which affect different areas of life, including communication, sensory issues, and emotional issues. It's a neurological condition, so people tend to look towards the details as opposed to the big picture. But it's a spectrum though, so it differs in a variability. I'm high functioning. I'm a graduate student here in physics. It's a different way of thinking. And that has its own strengths, such as focus. I specifically call it more hyper-focus. It's just an amazing strength that not everyone has. Specialized knowledge, we tend to dive deep into fields. So perseverance, we tend to struggle with things. It's something we're used to anyways, it means we can persevere through anything. Systematic thinking, just the ability to connect the dots into different places. Creativity is also an important part because we're often in our world and just our imaginations.
There are many strengths that students on the autism spectrum have that are very well fit for science. The first day, we started with an interactive what is energy activity. It was a set of 5 stations they rotated between with a different item that they see every day, like shake to activate ice pack, glow sticks, a solar-powered music device. So it was a way to get them to start talking about energy, how it's present in our lives, and what it's used for.
We burned different oils, like for example lamp oil, different types of vegetable oil and motor oil to determine how much chemical energy was being converted into heat energy.
This is olive oil I'm doing right now. We did canola oil.
And by determining the size of the flame, we found out that the lamp oil most likely had the most energy stored.
Dump it out really quick. Really fast. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
My glasses.
So it's important to know the types of fuel we have before we can look at other ways that we can have sustainable energy.
In the voltage and circuits activity, they experiment batteries, wires, light bulbs, and how to create a full circuit, how to experiment with the circuits to make the light bulb grow brighter, using LEDs.
Why don't you connect these two to the ends of one of the batteries?
And they had to use a digital multimeter to measure the voltage across the circuit.
Depending how your wires are connected and what setting you have it on, it can detect the resistance in a system, the voltage, the amperage, and also tell whether the system is alternating current or direct current.
They were just asked after a point to throw a resistor into the circuit to see how it affected the voltage across the other elements.
The solar panel activity was a way for us to discover properties of solar panels which convert light into electricity. By looking at the brightness of the diode, we could determine how much power is going through the solar panels. There's a small range of electromagnetic spectrum which we can see, and that's what we call light. Violet light has a shorter wavelength or higher frequency compared to red light. The shorter wavelength or the higher frequency has a higher energy. The brightest one was the red light, followed by the green light, then the blue light. The blue light took the most energy per photon in order to light it up. So the compass direction was important because the light from the sun has to be perpendicular to the solar panel. So if you change the direction of the solar panel, then you would change the power going through the solar panel.
What direction are they facing right now?
North.
In the peak oil game, each team was an energy company. Essentially, they had jars of black and brown beans that they used as their oil fields that they had to drill with a spoon. And there were regulations they had to follow, like if they spilled the beans and polluted, then they had to pay a fine. Or if they found impurities in their oil, they had to get rid of some of their other oil to simulate the processing.
Ready, set, drill, baby, drill.
That's a jackpot right there. The other side of the jar. Other side of the jar. Other side of the jar.
Well, I can let him go. Because we still got to pull out for him.
That's true. That's true.
Drill, baby, drill. Drill. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Make sure we put them back in here.
Of course.
Alright, you guys count them out.
After the drilling phase, they had to refine their oil and sell it, and so they had to set a price and kind of compete against their teams.
What? So 9 barrels at $30.
Your last chance over the next 30 seconds if you want to change your prices of oil. If not, that's fine. Whichever company had the most profits was the winner.
$1 billion.
$1 billion for the last barrel.
So we had one team that really took advantage of market demand and charged $5,000 a barrel, but the market needed it, so they paid it, and then the market crashed the next round. A little more extreme than it would have been in real life, or hopefully will ever be in real life, but it was just an illustration of how the market for oil affects the pricing and vice versa.
We did a serious dig.
Serious dig.
We did a bunch of computer activities. There was one activity in which we looked at different gases and how different forms of electromagnetic waves interacted with those gases, basically as to whether these portions of the electromagnetic spectrum absorb light. There are certain gases called greenhouse gases which absorb infrared light. That's important because essentially every body that has a temperature emits electromagnetic radiation. We determined if the sea level of the Earth rose, how different cities would be affected by that.
New Jersey, gone, Virginia Beach, parts of North Carolina, Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami.
We wanted to deal with wind energy as an important source of renewable energy that we have at our disposal. First, they had to design one windmill using a juice carton as a base that would lift the most load of pennies.
We're going to be putting the sticks on this ball, and we're going to make the wings, and we're going to put them on these sticks.
Yes, it's a success. The cup wants it to stop.
Well,
The cup's dizzy.
And then they had to design a separate set of blades that would be hooked to a tester to see which set of blades could generate the most voltage.
I'm tracing out this propeller for me to cut it out and make my own.
Yes.
I'm also going to use 4 propellers instead of 3 to make it more effective. Wolverine.
Scissor fans.
Honestly, it's a relief just to seeing people like me at a time in my life which was critical for me. I had a hard time in high school, and it wasn't until I learned that I loved science. And I know it's important for these kids too, to actually develop a passion. These kids have strengths which are important for science.
However, there are some challenges they face, and so this camp is one of those opportunities that will hopefully connect them to what's possible in the sciences, give them a sense that they really can do it and be successful, and then achieve the success that their strengths should allow them to.
There's a lot of things that are good about being on the spectrum, and it's important that they realize that they can get good careers. They're just a huge blast to be around.